Lewis, thank you for talking for the final time this season. We're heading into a home game. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Yeah, obviously we're coming in on the back of two disappointing performances and results, obviously. But we're going to go in full of that fire in our belly to go and try and make amends. Obviously we're going up against Leyton Orient, who've had a fantastic response to their new manager going in, who's a brilliant manager. We've got to go in and just take a little bit of confidence of what we have achieved over the season, when obviously a few curveballs have been thrown at us in terms of suspensions, injuries, and just not really being able to show our full strength. And yet we're saying that, and we're only, sort of 10-15 points just outside the playoffs. So I sort of stand here and say, we'll be completely ready, and then it's just about us going out there and putting on that sort of final home show for the fans and show our appreciation for what they've done for us all season. And you just got to look at Tuesday, they were singing right up until the 95th, 96th minute, and we owe them, for that last game.
Yeah, and there is a real sense of unity, isn't there, especially this season, since obviously the COVID season where fans weren't allowed, that you can tell that the players are really appreciative of the fans and vice versa, really.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about it this morning when we came in, about how sort of loud and the atmosphere at the game on Saturday, and they're the kind of games you want to be involved in, and hopefully next season we'll be up in that lottery of the playoffs, if not higher, because you want to be in the higher echelons of the league and really be sort of up there and testing yourself, and then sort of on the back of that, attendance start to grow, the sound starts to go, and it starts to rumble around the town. Obviously it was just before I joined initially over 8 years ago when they had their FA Cup runs and got promoted to League One, and that momentum, and obviously that's what Sutton are full of at the moment, but that's what we want now, and we want to try and build that momentum with what I see as a brilliant group of people. They're all sort of building and moving in the right direction, and you can only look by sort of, we are 1 point off of last season, we're still with 2 games to go, so we've got to we're trying to outdo that. And I'm not saying that as a stress, I'm saying that as an enjoyment, that we've got to say that we've had all this that has come against us, and yet we're still up there in and around where we were last year. So it's definitely been an improvement, but there's still that little bit of improvement that we've got to make to bridge that gap.
Yeah, obviously we've been at training today, we've seen how good the mood is in camp. After those 2 defeats, how important is it to keep the morale up and heading into the last 2 games of the season?
Yeah, obviously it's really important. It's obviously trying to pick them up. Like I say, it's been really an emotional, straining week, and we've obviously still got a few lads injured and whatnot. So we're just trying to, me and the rest of the staff are just trying to keep them at it and ready and motivated for these last few games. And like I say, we've got 6 points to play for against 2 contrasting teams, in that Orient are obviously starting their rebuild for next season under, as I said, a fantastic management team, and then obviously we got that last one at Oldham, which is in the back of our mind, but we've got to deal with Orient first, and that last home game at the stadium.
Yeah, obviously, to touch on it, we saw Nico, heading off the pitch, blood all over him. It shows, doesn't it? And the lads are going to always, put blood, sweat and tears into the performances, and they will be showing their appreciation after the game against Leyton Orient, won't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more disappointing for Nico to spoil his pretty looks. But if you had seen him today, he looked like he had done 10 rounds with a boxer. But listen, that just shows the character in the group. He's not the only one who's gone through the pain barrier to get through a performance for us as a group. But also for the fans. But listen, I can keep saying it, I'll probably sound like a broken record, but the fans have been brilliant, but as have the players, and I know that the last 2 games are not a representation of them, and I hope the next 2 are more of a representation of them, and they can go off into the break knowing that the momentum's already there built, because you still have to remember that we are on the back of 5 wins in 8 games, which is a fantastic effort.